Morning, everyone. Tēnā koutou katoa, ko James Webster taku ingoa, ke New Zealand Government Procurement Ahau a mahi ana. So my name's James Webster and my role is as a product manager. It's fairly new to the branch, but I live within the business systems team and enabling services. Our team help NZGP to build and support digital systems used by the branch providers and purchasers in the wider public sector. Some of these systems include the NZGP website, GETS, the online panel directory, Hikina, which is our learning management system, and a conflict of interest tool, just to name a few. Our team goals are to build digital tools that reduce barriers for businesses by providing intuitive experiences and access to relevant and timely information, enhance the efficiency and effectiveness and transparency of government procurement processes by improving our existing systems and introducing new ones, and to provide a data framework that improves access to the quality data and allows us to generate meaningful insights and demonstrate progress. Now, Jazz and Natalia have taken you through the type of content that will help you stand out to agencies. I'm going to provide you with some simple editing tips for your provider profile and give you a quick insight into what agency users see and how they navigate the directory. As mentioned, OPD is primarily a directory application. However, as part of a secondary procurement activity that allows us to connect agencies and with potential users. Much like your company website, LinkedIn, Facebook, or other online profiles you use to advertise your business, keeping content concise, fresh, and providing evidence to back up your value propositions is really important. So content is king, or queen, if you ask Natalia, for agencies to help refine results and identify key fit criteria with providers, and for providers to be visible and increase the opportunities to win business. So let's take a look at editing your content using the sample profile we've created. As I need to navigate around, I'm just going to turn my camera off for now so we can all focus on the content. Please note this is a sample profile and it's in our user testing environment, so you won't be able to find it online. However, all of the editing tips are included in the profile, are in our provider guide 4th edition. So once you've logged in, you can hit the edit button, will appear in the contact information block on the right-hand column. When you click that button, the website will allow you to edit certain information. As Natalia mentioned before, there are some sections of your profile you cannot edit, such as your daily rates and company name, without our intervention. So first, let's take a look at file uploads. This is where you can upload artifacts such as your case studies, certifications, and accreditations. Now, we do have a minor bug in the file upload mechanism at the moment, which will be fixed in an upcoming maintenance release. And the issue happens when you try to upload a file without following these steps. So before each file upload, please save any changes you've made to the profile, then select Edit again to reveal the upload functions. Then you can simply drag and drop a file from your desktop into the appropriate upload box. In this case, we're replacing a case study. Once you've done that, the system will show you and you can click Save to save that profile. And if you repeat those steps for each document, you shouldn't have a problem. But please reach out to us for help if you do. So case studies and certification documents are a great way to expand on the value of your profile. You can tease out information in your content, as Natalia mentioned, and refer a more detailed information in the case studies, brochures, accreditations. I do want to talk about document accessibility. I can't stress the point enough that all documents that you upload must be accessible. This means that users with vision impairment, color blindness, and other needs can also get value from your content simply via good formatting or the use of screen readers or other accessibility tools. You can find a wealth of information about accessibility online, and our provider guide has links to the GCDO website, digital.gov.nz, that has some great guidance. Now, let's take you through some of the other features of your provider profile. So you can promote your brand on your profile by uploading your company logo, preferably a JPEG, PNG, or SVG file format with a maximum file size of 20 megabytes. As with documents, you can simply drag and drop your logo into the upload box to add it to your profile. We move down the profile, we can come to subservice disciplines. You will have seen these or set these when you applied to join the panel. This is a pick list that you can select one or more disciplines. Please note, you can use the scroll bar to uncover more options in the interface. These will end up displaying below your company name at the top of your profile. What they are is they provide some metadata for the search function agencies use to focus in on specialist skills. I know it's tempting to pick all of them, and it does, but it doesn't help agencies to focus their searches. So stick to a few that really represent what your business can do. In the contact details, you can use a generic email address such as sales@yourdomain.nz. However, when you're providing contact details, make sure those inquiries are directed to a team or team member that knows the contract and is ready to help. Again, with your website address, you could put your main website address, www.yourdomain.nz. However, there's no reason you can't provide a focused landing page that supports and enhances your profile. So e.g. yourdomain.nz/government solutions. It talks in more detail your services, features, benefits, and experience with government clients. Business size is also important. You select this with a drop-down list. Remember, agencies aren't all big ministries looking for national providers. They include the wider public sector, and they can be looking for a local small business to work with them in a particular town or region. This filter will help your profile matching a right size fit for users. Regional reach. You can select one or more of these using the checkboxes. This is where you're prepared to or want to provide services or may have local support. You don't have to be nationwide again, but say if you're in Napier and primarily provide services to the Hawke's Bay region, this will help users again to refine their search results and get a right size fit. Office location, so this is where you have bricks and mortar or a physical presence, an office or depot. Again, you can select as many of these as you want with the checkboxes, but again, agencies are using it to refine search results. So only click regions where you actually have a presence. So now I'll provide a quick overview of the process from an agency perspective. Like you, agencies also have to provide authenticated access, and this is limited to users in procurement roles. They can only see profiles of panels that they have joined and are mandated to use the panel once they have joined the contract. While agencies sometimes use OPD like a Rolodex for contact information, the application has some mechanisms to keep things fair for providers. For example, the initial panel results that are presented when they are in small groups and are randomized per session and in no particular sorting order. For example, a business like A1 Aronson Limited isn't going to be the first result each time in the login because they're in no particular order. As you can see, OPD allows agencies to select a panel appropriate to the service they are wanting, and then they can conduct a keyword search and or use filtering mechanisms to narrow their search results. There can be hundreds of providers on a panel, and they may only need to shortlist 3 to 5, depending on the overall value of the work. So based on a filtering criteria that they've applied, the agency can then begin to build a shortlist in the website of profiles that meet their needs. So we talk about content as king. So let's look at a small shortlist I created earlier. When a user views the shortlist, they are presented with a summary of profiles they've selected side by side, and they can compare key attributes. We've redacted a lot of info for privacy here. However, I think you can see how even the top line content of the third provider is already standing out and providing points of conversion, such as a website URL, to tempt the agency user to click through. So the last feature I'll talk about on this page is the export shortlist. So agencies use this function to export profile information that they've reviewed in the shortlist, and they can look at that with other managers or team members involved in the procurement. And they do have a limit there of up to 20 profiles they can export at one time. Excellent. So let's review some of those top tips. So we want to focus on our core competencies and service areas. Profile artifacts must be accessible. Use a framework like Smarter to craft your content. Link to a landing page that supports your profile. Review and update your profile content regularly. Don't forget, all the information we've talked about is in the 4th edition of our provider guide, and that's available on our website and includes detail and links mentioned in our content today. The team will send out a link to everyone at the conclusion of today's session. Finally, can I add the information presented today is not just valuable in context of OTPD, but when you're presenting to government in any format. Effective communication, especially in relation to broader outcomes and sustainability, they're at the top of priorities across the entire public sector, are crucial to winning business and building a long-standing relationship. A clear dialogue about application and innovation will help New Zealanders reap the benefits.